it going, guys? RNG Life here, and today we're going to be farming Elegant Mai level 40 once again, but this time we're going to be using a more accessible deck, a deck that more people might have access to, and that is going to be the Unhappy Girl farming deck, I guess, engine. I mean, this deck, I know you guys have seen it before. It's the Unhappy Girl with Raimeis and Crystal Seers. It's pretty straightforward, to be honest, but it does require a certain sense of skill. I don't know. I've tried using this deck multiple times and I've lost completely because I don't know how to run the deck, or I didn't know how to run the deck. But it's all about basically managing your discards with Ultimate Providence. That's all it really is. That's the most important thing. If they do end up popping your Trap Jammer, it happened to me once, and then this happened to be the last card in my deck. I lost because, or I didn't lose, but I didn't get the full points because she had a Mirror Wall. But anyway, this deck is a little bit more tricky, like a little bit more inconsistent. But this is just for the people who don't have access to the Paradox Brothers. I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right in and let's take her on. And here she is, Mai Valentine, or Elegant Mai, level 40. So we're going to go ahead and take her on right now. Alright, so first things first, with this deck, you are relying on a good opening hand. That is one of the downsides of Unhappy Girl, and it always has been. You're good if you start with an Unhappy Girl or Raimei. So let's see what we got. Alright, perfect. We got the Unhappy Girl and Raimei. You want to get two of them on the field. Start with Unhappy Girl, and because I have lost before because I start with Raimei. I've set Raimei, she special summons like 2 monsters, and then my life points are way too low to bounce back. So I think just to be safe, we're going to start with Unhappy Girl, and we're going to be crashing in our Raimeis into her monsters. So if we start with Unhappy Girl, she will not attack us, or she shouldn't unless she has a game. She's got Harpy's Hunting Ground. That's another thing. If you draw your traps first turn, don't set them. Let her do that. Let her mess up her own card, because she is kind of an idiot. She'll play Harpy's Hunting Ground and then destroy it herself. So we're drawing some of those last turn cards. Right now we can go ahead and start playing the Raimeis just to crash and search out the rest of the Unhappy Girls, because she does deck thin a lot. I swear. She has come so close to decking out before that she needs that quill pen or whatever. She needs it to put cards back into her deck. So the good thing is about this deck, actually you're trying to bait out quill pen. So we're good. We're gonna lock down that monster, and it's also good because now she used I guess she goes by Harpy Lady, but that's the other one. I forget her name, but this one, when it's summoned, it has an effect where it bounces the thing back by tributing another wind monster or another winged beast or something like that. So as long as she's alone, you're all set. Like, you're good. You have nothing to really fear, or besides the monsters, I guess. The only things you really have to fear in this deck are, I guess, Quill, Miyabi, and I guess sometimes Birdman Joe, but not really Birdman Joe. It's mainly those two. What else? I think, what is it? Mirror Wall at the very end, but it's not threatening to your run, really. You'll still win, but you just won't get the maximum points. That's why you need certain cards to lock them down. So right now, we could straight up go for another one of these, search out the last Unhappy Girl, or we could just go ahead and summon this one, which is what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to summon both Unhappy Girls to start locking stuff down. I'm going to hold off on the Ultimate Providence just because I don't need it yet. I mean, I also have no threat now. I mean, since she did get rid of Harpy Hunting Ground. She got rid of it already, so we don't really have anything to fear on that end. But right now, let's go ahead and draw. Enchanted Javelin. Alright, so we don't need Enchanted Javelin anymore, so we can legitimately set this. And this is just so we can stop Miyabi, and if it stays till the very end, then we're stopping Mirror Force. But we need to have this, Ultimate Providence, and a trap in hand. So it doesn't matter what you have. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and I just picked the last card in my deck, so I'm going to go ahead and summon her, search. Let's attack whichever. Doesn't matter. I don't take damage. She does do her shenanigans, but she dies either way, so it doesn't matter. Now we get that last unhappy girl added to our hand, which is probably the closest we have to deck thinning, and we can go ahead and start locking her stuff down. One thing that kind of sucks about this one, what is it? It's like they cannot attack for 2 turns, or something like that, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're all set. She has 3 monsters on her field. She pretty much locked up her field. She can still go for Elegant Egotist, I believe. No, she has to tribute something, so she will eventually tribute. But for now, we should be okay. She could also tribute summon. She could tribute summon for Birdman Joe. She usually does that when you have a card on the field. There's our another Raime. So now that we have that Raime, I mean, we could set this in defense and then crash, or we could just summon this just to get rid of it, to be honest. Because it is a glossy, and we're just gonna go ahead and attack. Let's see if we can do this. She dies either way, so we lose her. We've got a glossy play off. She can't attack because of whatever. I'm considering holding off on attacking, but we're technically safe. Whatever, screw it. We're gonna attack it. She's gonna lock us down from attacking for the next turn or 2, but that is okay. We already don't really need to attack her stuff unless she starts she goes tributes. So she did tribute. Our card bounces back. We could negate it if we wanted to, but there's really no point. If she does activate Quill, we're not gonna negate it either way. We cannot negate Quill with this because all our spells are important. So now we can go ahead and start setting this again. Whatever. I guess we're gonna go ahead and play this in defense. I don't know if these can attack yet. Oh, that one can. Alright, so I can attack that one. I think I'd rather just not attack, let her Birdman Joe attack, and just kind of get it off my field for me. So I don't have to flip it and battle and not be able to summon something for the turn. So we're going to go ahead and see what we're going to pick for our next draw, and what's going to be at the bottom of the deck. I think we're going to add this, and let that Vassal be at the bottom of the deck. Let's go ahead and do that. Seers are also important because they let you kind of thin out your deck a slight bit. We got 2 Enchanted Javelins. We don't really need 2. We could set the next Ultimate Providence, but it might start clogging a bit unless we end up activating them eventually. So for now, I think we are going to hold off on it. We're going to hold off on it, even though this one's glossy. You usually want to go for the glossies because they earn you the most points. But now we should be able to attack that Joe. Get wrecked, Joe. Alright, so we're going to lock down Birdman Joe. Can you attack? Yes, you can. Alright. And now all 3 of them are locked by both unhappy girls. So if she does Miyabi, or she's not, Miyabi's not our threat right now. If she does Quill, but she bounces back one of the unhappy girls, we're still fine. We're still safe. We could start setting Trap Jammer now. And I mean, we could set it, but it's more of a last turn card, to be honest. So you kind of want to hold on to it, unless you're going to start discarding important stuff, which you don't really have to. So right now, I think what we're going to go ahead and do is, I'm going to set Ultimate Providence, since we're going to be using it eventually. We're going to be using it eventually, and I would rather discard an Enchanted Javelin for the activation of this card than discard it because I have too many cards in hand. So let's go ahead and end.
My turn. Feeling nervous?
Alright.
Draw.
And you can also run. You can also have the I guess budget version with Piranha and stuff like that. But I haven't had a chance to make a video on that one yet. She spawns so she's not spawning for me, guys. She does not spawn. I'm getting level 30 all the time. I don't know why. I'm getting level 30. I've actually gotten the UR of level 30, which is kind of cool, but she's not spawning at level 40, so I don't get many opportunities to make farming videos. Normally I would put in the footage of me taking her out with the budget version as well. Since they just randomly spawn, I don't get all the opportunities to record multiple videos and put them all in one. So let's see what we draw. So right now we're okay. We're just gonna go ahead and flip. Let's choose our next draw. We're not gonna negate our own monster. We can leave that at the bottom. And sure, why not? Let's add Providence. Basically, because we don't need our important cards clogging our hand right now. So right now, I could start discarding, since we only really need to negate 1 or 2 traps in total, and that would be Mirror Wall and Miyabi. and that's what these are for. We can discard, pitch these basically, Enchanted Javelin. So we can discard an Enchanted Javelin or an Unhappy Girl, but we don't need to. Normally you need to have the Unhappy Girl or something to negate this one's effect. I forget her name. It's saying Harpy Lady, but it's not Enchantress. I forget her name. Harpist, I think. Harpist. But right now we're just gonna go ahead and get Seer off her field.
Let's do this.
So let's just get her off the field right now. Alright, so she's dead. And we're gonna go ahead and pitch a card. Or two, actually. What are we gonna discard? Any traps that we don't really need. Let's just get rid of the javelins. We don't need those. Because we could eventually use Providence. She set her third card. That could be a Miyabi. She could activate it at any time. Now? No? Okay, cool. So she didn't activate it, meaning it's probably not Miyabi. We don't want to lock up our field, the monsters, or back row. So we might be discarding an Unhappy Girl right now. Which is okay. I mean, we already locked up her stuff. She has 3 and 3. So let's go ahead and get rid of you. Yeah. Alright. So we can't negate monster effects now, which is okay because she only runs one Birdman Joe, one of this one. So, I mean, we're okay. The only threats left in her deck are the Spell and Trap, Miyabi and Quill. And she does this thing where she tries to time them both together. Let's check her grave. Alright, she officially has 2 wind monsters in the grave, so she could activate Quill now. So that is a thing that could happen. So if she does try to Quill and then Miyabi, we can negate with Ultimate Providence. So we don't want to start throwing away our stuff. So one thing we can do is set Temple of the Kings. Or actually, right now, since this is one thing I was actually forgetting, really important, we're going to go ahead and activate. Because we don't run double summon, we don't run anything like that, so we have to summon this guy before the last turn. And I wasn't looking at the turn counters, I wasn't looking at the amount of cards in my deck. But we should be alright. Look, there's Miyabi, we're going to go ahead and negate it. No thank you, Miyabi. Which one's glossy? Which one's glossy? That's the glossy one. I want to get the maximum glossy points too. We're going to go ahead and negate that trap by pitching another Providence from our hand. And not chain the other one. And there you go. Alright, so there we go. Now that's done. Activate this. We cleared up a back row a little bit, so we were kind of waiting for that thing to get out of here. So now we can go ahead and bring out our Blue Eyes. I do recommend, once again, in this very particular build, I recommend Blue Eyes. Master of Oz just isn't going to give you the attack points you need. So we can go ahead and set this as well. Next turn, in case she has Mirror Force, we can negate it with Trap Jammer instead of Providence. Just because it doesn't really matter. Also, Trap Jammer is glossy, so that's good. We can't summon this turn, so we're gonna go ahead and leave that for next turn. And that's basically how this deck works. Like I said, it does require a slight bit of skill, because it is really tricky. It's just a really tricky. But good thing is she locked up her field. I mean, normally you want to bait out Quill before her last turn or whatever. You want to bait out Quill. Right now we were in danger of losing. She would have bounced back Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, but she didn't. So we're all set. I mean, like I said, this deck is not 100% consistent. It still has its downsides, but we did successfully clear it right now. Once we go ahead and bring out this guy, we're gonna go ahead and give him all the power-ups. We're gonna go for game right now. Alright, and we're not gonna activate that. I don't wanna switch it to off, the auto thing in the corner, because then I'll miss the timing to stop Mirror Wall in case she does have it set, which she most likely does. So now that we activated all of this, I'm gonna give him all the power. Alright, so now we're gonna go ahead and swing directly. And she most likely will have Mirror Wall, which we will negate with Trap Jammer. So go ahead and attack. And there it is, Mirror Wall. And we will negate. Let's go ahead and activate. And just because my Trap Jammer is a glossy, so that's the only reason I played it over Providence. But you could have also left it in your hand and activated Providence. But we did get a win right there.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, we did get the win. Alright, so like I said again, I mean, I do want to stress this. Unhappy Girl is not the most consistent deck. It is not. You will lose. Like you will draw a bad hand. You will lose. But we did get that 9,300 score. Very, very decent score. I mean, I think one time I had it where I didn't have a trap set for the last turn, or I didn't have a trap that I had just set it that same turn because it was my last card in my deck. I attacked with all my stuff. I did everything properly. Attacked. She activated Mirror Wall. I only ended up doing like 5,000 damage. I still got like 7,900. So I still got a really high score. So this does give you a really decent score for Unhappy Girl. If you're willing to risk it, if that's the only thing you really have, then GG, go ahead and do it. You can go ahead and use Piranha as well. We'll go ahead and put up a screenshot of the deck that I use for Piranha. I'm putting that deck on the side right now. I don't know, I should have probably said this earlier, but this is just in case like some of you want to use this other deck. I do not have footage at the moment. She just does not spawn at level 40. I do recommend the deck if you have no other option. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today. Have a great day, and see you guys.